guys, Thomas from Team Sakuraso here, come at you with a 5-card set in your trade binder for August. And if you guys love this series as much as I love making it, make sure to smash that like button, because if we get to 60 likes, I will do a part 2 in August. That means another 5 cards. If you guys are not subscribed, hopefully today's the day to earn your subscription, especially because we are very, very close to 1,600 subscribers. We're about 15 away, so to those who have not subbed, hopefully today you will consider subscribing. If you're buying any of these cards off TCG Player or any cards on TCG Player, please use my affiliate link down in the description below. It helps out the channel to no additional cost to you. What you do is you click it, it takes you to a TCG Player, you buy whatever you want or wherever you were going to, and then once you check out, process payment, all that, I'm going to get a little bit of what you spent to no additional cost to you. So it just helps put some money back into the channel. And I want to take a moment to actually thank you guys for using that affiliate code. I know some of you might think it's not a lot, or hey, you know, just a little thing doesn't take me an effort, but it really does help the channel. It helps me make more videos, it helps me pay bills, it helps me get really awesome packs and content for you guys, because you guys know with my pack openings I go big or go home. So to those who use my affiliate link or you're a YouTube channel member, I really want to say you have my eternal gratitude. I really do appreciate when people decide to not only watch me and enjoy my content, comment, and like, but to actually try to support what I'm doing beyond that. And that really does mean a lot to me. So to those who do, thank you. And thank you to those who just watch my videos and enjoy them as well. You know, you never have to go up and beyond. The fact that you guys are here watching every video makes me really happy. So with all the sentiment out of the way, the first 5 card out of the 5 cards I have in your trade binder is Bloody Rose Dragon. Now you guys might be thinking to yourselves, you know, I'm reading that card to the side right here and it says Ruddy Rose Dragon. Actually, you're wrong. It says Bloody Rose. So what this card does is it's 3200 defense, 2800 attack. It's a level 10 synchro generic monster, and when it hits the field, when you synchro summon it, it basically banishes from both graveyards, their entire graveyard, so your opponent's and yours. Now this could be a dual-edged sword, or it can just hurt your opponent, cripple them very badly, especially if they're using an engine that recurs from the graveyard, or they play a lot around their graveyard. This can really, really hinder your opponent. Oh, if they're playing like a bunch of one-ofs, they could recur as well. It's especially going to hurt them. Negating stuff or banishing from the graveyard will always be good, kind of similar to Call by the Grave. So to be able to banish everything from the graveyard is really, really good. What this card also does is if it was synchro someone using Black Rose Dragon or a plant synchro, you get to destroy all other cards on the field besides this one. And that's always really good. It's basically a generic nuke, but you get to keep this card, which is really nice. And then if your opponent tries to destroy cards, like an Abomination card or an Unchained, that counts as well. You tribute it to negate it. It does not negate and destroy, just negates, sadly. But you get to special summon a Black Rose either from the graveyard or extra deck. So depending on what deck you're playing, you're basically able to recur essentially from the graveyard or extra deck. Most likely extra deck, because you'll be banishing everything in your graveyard. So, you know, it is what it is, but it's still really, really cool that once this leaves the field, similar to how Stardust would tribute to negate something, it brings you something back, which is something I could really enjoy. This card, the reason why I'm telling you guys to pick this up is because while it's a non-meta card, it's still going for about $12 and it has not really dropped since release. But the most alarming thing is while there's a lot of requested secret rares in Lightning Overdrive, this is the card that has the least amount of listings. Last time I checked, we were below 70, which may not seem alarming, but for a set that has been out for about at least a month and a half to 2.5 months, and you know, we already have our prices settled, the whole, you know, we're about to move on to the next set, Dawn of Majesty, and a card that is not meta relevant and is not really, you know, not getting anything Dawn of the Majesty, has less than 70 listings and it's not bought out. It shows to me that a lot of people love this card either for the artwork, the effect, generic plant, or they just want to have a copy, which is the reason why I really wanted a copy. And they ended up spending it. So this is a card where if it gets used in any meta relevant deck or any relevancy in general, it could get bought out to $30, and that is kind of why I would tell you guys to grab this card. It's a card that could come into the meta. It's got collectability. It already does not have that many listings. And to top it off, it's actually quite cheap for a first edition near mint secret rare, and these definitely have room to grow, if not 30 to at least maybe low 20s. So I would grab your copies while you can, along with Lightning Overdrive is a set that has mostly requested secrets besides the War Rock and the plant thing. That's a link. Besides those two, every secret rare is wanted or requested in some type of amount or capacity. A lot of people are hunting down the Starlights like Starlight Black Rose, which looks absolutely gorgeous. So this is a set that could be quite hard to find. And when a set becomes hard to find, especially if it doesn't have any reprints, all the singles tend to float up. Not just Black, not Ruddy Rose Dragon, but Bloody Rose Dragon. See, I kind of said it right. So grab your copies while you can. Now, the second card that I have for your 5 cards out of your trade binder is actually something that I peeped in my last market watch, and I thought to myself, huh, you guys should really grab this. And this is Psy Framelord Omega. Now, I'm talking about the Secret Rare out of High Speed Riders. Now, first editions are $14, which, if you guys are playing around High Speed Riders, this was one of the most requested cards because it was a generic card that was able to banish a card out of your opponent's hand, and it would keep your opponent from doing certain actions. And it was a very good card because any hand loop card, especially a generic synchro, is always going to be good. The reason why I'm telling you guys to grab this is because, number one, Gamma is a very played hand trap. Currently, it's good against Tri-Brigade, it's good against Drytron, and it's good against a lot of other decks in the format. So Gamma is always bought out, and even Driver Ultra Rares are actually $2, and Driver is a card that should never be above 50 cents. Because these cards are used so much, they're also going to be used during your own turn, and what better card to sync with your Framelord and your Driver than Gamma? What this card does, essentially, is it lets you put on a card, you know, from your opponent's hand. I'll actually read you guys the effect as well for those who don't know. During either player's main phase, you can banish this face-up card on the field and one random card in your opponent's hand until the next standby phase. During your opponent's standby phase, you can target one banished card, return it to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one other card in the graveyard, shuffle both that card and this card into the deck. So it's really, really good just to get rid of certain cards. And it being a 2800 attack, that's not too bad. Seeing that Gamma is used quite a bit and is almost bought out in almost all fronts, this card could definitely go up, especially because as of the making of this video, it only has 17 listings. It goes from $14 to about $22 very, very quickly. So I'll grab your copies of Gamma while you can because I think they're a very, very good investment. Now, the third card I have here is Dual Terminal Alley of Justice Catastrophe. Now, I told you guys to grab this very long time ago at $2. And if you did, congratulations, you made a lot of money. Because right now they're 12s, going quickly up to $15, $16. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys to grab this card, and I'm about to go into some story time here, is back in my day where, you know, I was playing during 5D's era, plant format, and going into Zexal for quite a large majority of Zexal, Alley of Justice Catastrophe was the best, undoubtedly generic level 5 synchro that you can possibly have. Since the only thing we had before it really that was generic and good was Magical Android. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys to pick this card up is because it's used in so many older formats, because what essentially does is it battles a non-dark monster, you get destroyed automatically before damage calculation. So this generic level 5 helped you run over cards that you normally would not be able to, or your deck really wasn't capable without spending a bunch of resources. So, and we know that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a big resource game, so a card like this was basically putting any extra deck that could make it. So the amount of formats that this could be played in on top of my head, seeing that it was played pretty religiously for at least 3 years, it was still played after that, but I mean religiously for 3 years, is about 6 formats because we used to have 6 month ban lists back then. Not including the emergency ban list that we had, I believe, one time at that point in time. So seeing this card has a lot of bling to it, especially because DTs were around $50 to $70 back then and very in between. This is a card to an old school player like me. I see it for $12, and I think it's a scam because this was kind of like the, how would I say, the Access Kotaker of the format, right? Or, you know, a few formats ago, it would be considered like kind of the Boral Sword of that format. Same with stuff like Goyo Guardian as well, until Goyo Guardian got ultimately banned and then Arad didn't come back. Dual terminals like this were basically the bee's knees. So getting this card at $12, a lot of old school players like me would absolutely love it, and we would pay up to $40, $50 because that's how much it was back then. So getting it anything less to people like me is a steal. So this is a card that can easily rise over time. It already has it also has the Ultimate Rare as well, which is quite a lot of money, but a lot of players specifically remember the dual terminals as being one of the higher rarities as well, and that's what you'd see a lot more. So a lot of players gravitate towards it, especially because it's a lot cheaper and it can still go up just like the DT. You're just spending less now and still getting a good chunk later. So grab your copies while you can. Now the fourth or I was about to say third. I was like, what number are we on? Fourth card to have in your trade binder is actually another old favorite of mine. And this is actually Magical Dimension Super Rare from Turbo Pack Booster 2. Now, I'm telling you guys to grab light plays at 28s, but if you want, you can grab near mints for 40. If you control a face-up spellcaster monster, you can target a monster you control, tribute it, and then you special summon a spellcaster monster from your hand, and then you can destroy a monster on the field. So it basically helps you put a big spellcaster, aka Dark Magician, on the field. That was the way it was also used in the anime, because if you guys don't know, Yami-Yugi actually used this against the Merrick. You could see in his hand and he activates it, and it's actually really, really cool. So this has a lot of collectability because, yes, original Yu-Gi-Oh sells, we all know that if you've been subscribed to the channel, but when you target something like a duel against a Merrick, that card value, it's going to go up. A lot of Turbo Pack cards are basically, all of them kind of have a red dot on their head to a point where they could get bought out at any second here. Nothing really is super safe in Turbo Pack. Yes, there are a few cards I just think are completely worthless that happen to be holographic, but I would say about 75-80% fall in the category of it could be bought out and no one can really replace this too well, or when it comes back and people start listening more, it's going to be a lot higher. This is one of those cards. It's a very good collectible card that, in my opinion, is a very good yet cheap PSA target as well. Because if you get some near mints, you get say 5 or 6, and one of them looks like it could be a good PSA, you could bet collectors will buy a PSA 10 of this. So I would definitely grab your copies while you can, because not only is it PSA potential and collectability, but it was used in some of the most infamous duels and it is an old card from Turbo Pack. So grab your copies while you can. Now the last card I have here is actually Harpy Lady 1, and this is from Speed Duel Turbo Pack 1. Now we all know how infamous Harpy Lady and Harpy Lady-esque cards are, but a lot of people aren't looking at Speed Duel 2. Now this is the only holographic printing besides Legendary Collection and Dual Terminal from my knowledge. Now Dual Terminal is a very good version as well, but a lot of collectors would definitely rather have a normal standard foil rather than DT. Not that DT is a bad pickup at $5-6, so I am going to include that just to let you guys know, hey, this is a good investment, but I'm going to focus on this one because I think it's a lot better. The reason why I'm telling you guys to get Speed Duel is because, number one, the foil looks so clean. And I can tell you that collectors, including me, I love the foil on Speed Duels. Love how that looks. The second thing is, this is a very hard version to get of Harpy Lady 1. Now, yes, you could buy a DT. You could buy a Legendary Collection 3 Yugi's World version. However, Speed Duel Turbo Pack 2, we're not going to get more of that. Whatever is out there is out there. And trust me, there's not that much. When you give us a collectible card that is very hard to access because of limited printing, that card is going to skyrocket. Now, these are around $3. I would definitely grab about a playset, if not more, of this card, because I think this is a card that is a penny stock that you can put away for a while, check back, and it's going to grow exponentially. So make sure that you have your copies while you can. Now, if you enjoyed this 5 card type trip out and you want to see a part 2, make sure to smash that like button. If you're buying any of these cards off TCG Player, please use my affiliate link down in the description below. Helps out the channel to no additional cost to you. Remember to subscribe, and remember, let me know in the comment section below, what was your favorite card out of your 5 cards every trip out? Do you disagree? Do you agree on any of these picks? What do you guys think is a good pick? You guys know I love having a conversation with you guys in the comments. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.